Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the video. So the market finally chilled out a bit this week. We had some continued volatility, but nowhere near the previous 2 weeks. In this video, we'll be going over what to expect in the week ahead, including the key levels to watch as bull-bear pivots on the S&P 500, and also going over two main trade ideas that I'm watching the week ahead, with well-defined pivot points to keep high risk on in this crazy market. As always, there are timestamps in the description. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so starting off by taking a look at the S&P 500. Once again, we'll be using SPY with this, as it gives the cleanest visual with all the volatility that has gone on. So 2 weekends ago, I went over how I was very confident that the short-term bottom was very close and the market would see a large bounce, and the following Monday was that short-term bottom and the market had a large rally that week. And then last weekend, I talked about how my confidence on market direction was very low, and I thought it was best to stay patient and not have any strong opinion for what was next. What played out was a gap up on Monday, which got sold at $5.44 per share, and then essentially the rest of the week was a slower grind lower, with one bigger sell on Wednesday afternoon. So once again for this week, I would consider it another low confidence outlook for direction, and I would not be surprised if the market is choppy again like this once again. I'll be posting a newsletter within the next 1 to 2 weeks or so, going a bit deeper and describing some fundamental risks and what I think really needs to happen for either a larger crash in the market or what needs to happen for investors to be confident that the bottom is in for the market. It's 100% free to subscribe to and linked down in the description. So the key levels to watch on SPY into next week on the downside include 524 to 525, and I would consider this as the biggest pivot zone. This was the previous top of the range. It acted as an upside trigger 2 different times on breaks above and has continued to be respected as a bull-bear pivot zone. A break below there can see a further pullback towards 520 next, and then breaking below there would open downside towards 510, which I would consider a must hold above, as that level is the established higher low after the massive upside move on April 9th. For the bull case, ideally it never even revisits 510, and if it does, it is a pretty big warning sign. Key resistance levels on the upside include 530, then 535 above there, which was the lows from Monday and the high from Wednesday. I would consider that level as the biggest short-term upside pivot, which can see a strong move above and target 536.87, 540, 544, and then 546.4 to 548, which was the high from April 9th, and that can act as a larger time frame upside trigger on a break above there. Overall, like I've said, I would consider this a very low confidence market for the time being. Make sure to be very selective with trades and use tight stop losses, which we'll be talking about some trade ideas with. Alright, so now getting into those individual trade ideas, and we'll be going over two stocks in the aerospace and defense sector, which have shown big relative strength compared to the market and have well-defined pivot levels that we can trade off of. The charts on all the big names right now are all over the place, so I'll be going back over those once we get a more defined market direction, but for right now I do think it's smart to stay patient on the majority of those. So first up is Leonardo DRS, ticker symbol DRS. So this stock has shown big relative strength versus the market and has built out a well-defined range since October between 28.2 as support and the trend line as resistance, which has been very well respected with 4 different tests of it. It currently lines up with about 36.7, which can be on a watch to act as a strong breakout trigger above, with the previous high at 38 as the first target before new all-time highs above there. It has also started to build out a consolidation just below the resistance, and the longer that builds out, the more energy that it builds up for that potential breakout move above it. And with well-defined setups like this, it is very easy to keep risk low. It can be viable on a break and hold above the trend line, and then you can play with a very tight stop loss back below it to protect from that possible failed breakout. And another to keep on close watch into next week is Kratos Defense, ticker symbol KTOS. So the setup can be looked at as a more than 4-year-long inverse head and shoulders pattern, and it's testing the previous high from 2021 at $34 per share, which I'll be watching to act as the breakout trigger above. There's potential for a very explosive move due to how long the pattern has built out and been within the same range. So a break and hold above 34 can trigger the start of the breakout and target those previous highs at 35.66 first before new all-time highs above there. And similar with DRS, risk is very easy to keep tight on well-defined setups like this. It can be viable on a break and hold above 34 with a tight stop loss back below it in case it fails that breakout attempt. There's a good chance that both of these would break out at the same time due to being in the same sector if they do make that move, and whichever one has more strength on that possible breakout would be the one that you want to focus on out of these two. Though obviously both are tradable with well-defined pivot points. So that is what I'm watching for in the week ahead. It is a low confidence right now for the time being, but with all this volatility, there will be big opportunity once again, probably pretty soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all next time. For anybody interested in joining the private Discord chat, that is the first link down in the description to get my personal trade alerts, nightly watch lists, and I answer any questions you guys have in there. Good luck trading the week ahead, and I will catch you guys next time, and peace out.